Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We are Lotus, and we better the world one drop at a time. So this is our team right here. My name is Raj Gandecha. I'm the Chief Executive Officer.
My name is Suniti Maduri. I'm Chief Marketing Officer.
I'm Alia Mahajin. I'm Chief Innovating Officer.
My name is Kamal Suru. I'm Chief Technology Officer.
I'm Sushil Gandetti, Chief Strategic Officer.
Namaste Singhal, Chief Financial Officer.
Alright, so before we begin, I want to ask everyone a very quick question. Raise your hand if you believe that your water is safe to drink. Just by a quick show of hands. Alright, thank you. You guys can put your hands down. So, what I was asking is, you guys have probably all heard of the events that happened in Flint, Michigan, and I'm sure you all think it's very terrible what's happened there. But the reality is, this has been happening for decades and all over the world. You can see from these news clips, these are real news clippings right here. 20 million residents of Bangladesh, if I had just asked them that question, they would have all raised their hands just now. They had no clue that their water was contaminated with arsenic. Most of those 20 million people are now predicted to receive or to develop cancer when they grow up. And it's not just happening in developing countries. This is happening in our own backyard, in the United States. The most industrialized country in the world has, throughout municipalities across the country, pharmaceutical drugs, harmful chemicals found in their drinking water. As you can see, TyE magazine did a whole cover about it. So, this picture right here, this lady right here, her name is Leanne Walters, and she is a single mother living in, unfortunately, a low-income part of her town. She has 3 beautiful children, 2 twins, they're her sons, and 1 daughter. And, you know, just a typical, very happy family. Her sons love playing baseball on Sundays. Her daughter loves to paint pictures, draw, that's her hobby. And Leanne, being a single mother, living in a low-income part of her town, she would do anything to provide for her children and give them a better life than what she has now. I'm sure all the parents out there know what that's like, to want to provide for your children so much. That's exactly what Leanne wants to do. But all of this happiness was soon, one day, sort of abruptly halted. Because one day, Leanne heard a shriek coming out of the upstairs, actually, of her 2-story home. And it was her daughter, who had shrieked that a whole clump of her hair had fallen out for no reason whatsoever. It had just fallen out. And they later realized that the whole family was actually losing hair. They had they had no clue why. And you can understand, like, the mystery surrounding this. Soon, her son stopped growing. The other son suffered abdominal pain so severe she had to take him to the hospital. At one point, Leanne started losing her own eyelashes. And again, they had no clue what was happening. So yes, this is the story of what happened in Flint. Today she's an activist for clean water. But the reason why all this happened is this right here. That water right there, that is brown water. And they were drinking that. They had no clue what was actually in there was lead. They thought it might have just been like suspended particles making it brown. No, that was lead. And having their children drink that is condemning them to a slow, painful death. Because you see, lead has been known. Conductive surveys have been done by scientists, by the CDC, the EPA. It's concluded that lead is a neurotoxin. It messes with the brain, especially of younger children. They have a higher susceptibility when they get older to diseases such as Alzheimer's. They get lower IQs. Drinking this water is really condemning them to a slow and painful death. So what's the problem we're trying to solve as a company? Just simply, there are harmful chemicals in our water. You can see from this map, it's all across the globe. This map portrays deaths from unsafe water in millions. And although you might see that the United States, it is lower than everywhere else, the key still shows 0 to 10 million deaths still happening because of unclean water in the United States, the most industrialized country in the world. And it's even denser in places like Africa, India. So you can just see how prevalent of a problem it is still. And to make things more specific, there is lack of immediate communication protocol between the government and agencies and its citizens to go ahead and clean things like this up when it does happen. So what's our solution as a team? We just want to allow people to know what chemicals are really in their water. Our product is a water impurities detector. We'll get more into detail on this in the next few slides, but as water runs through it, it allows people to know exactly what chemicals are in their water. Simply, if people in Flint had our product and knew that there was lead in their water, you can bet they would not have drank that water. If people in Bangladesh had our product, it's very simple. They would not be drinking water that contains arsenic in it.
Value proposition. At Lotus, we really care about our customers and we want them to know what's in their water and feel safe. So, between our competitors, we are the first device to be connected to the internet using technology such as Internet of Things. We'll be partnering with Cisco's to use Internet of Things. What this does, it's very convenient for the customer to look at the data and what's in their water, and instead of checking out charts and telling like, oh, this is parts per million, they have to recharge. So instead of doing all that complicated stuff, we came up with a much easier and simpler way to let the customer know what's in their water. They just have to pull out their phone, look at it, go to the mobile application, there it is. This data can then be sent to town authorities. This solves the problem of weak communication protocol between citizens and town authorities. So what this does is, why not help out the whole community full of thousands of people, thousands of families, feel safe instead of just your own? So you can use this data to send to town authorities, so the town authorities can take further action to solve this problem. Healthcare. We all know that healthcare can be very, very expensive. So with our product, healthcare costs can be lowered. So what this does is customers can take precaution and get free treatment instead of going through complicated procedures and bear the pain of paying and even like actual pain and get a sickness that may not even be able to be cured. So with our product, they can know what's in their water and feel safe. When you even travel, first source of illness is water. Like when for example, when I went to India, I drank the water, and the next day I was sick. If I knew what was in that water, I would have not drank that water. So if they had our device, everything would have been perfectly fine.
Here's our product.
Here is our product. It attaches to any faucet in the modern home and can give instant statistics to the consumer about what is in their water. Inside is a Raspberry Pi Zero, a small mini computer chip. It also has multiple sensors. Each sensor uses carbon nanotube technology to identify chemicals in the water. Carbon nanotubes are cylindrical tubes that are very small. They're about 3 nanometers and a few nanometers in width, and that's 1/50th the size of a human hair. The carbon nanotubes can sense the chemicals using a transistor application. So the faucet is turned on, the water passes by these sensors, and the sensors start sending data to the Raspberry Pi Zero. The Raspberry Pi Zero compiles this data and sends it to the companion app over Bluetooth. The companion app will then give the consumer easy-to-interpret data with options of sending this information to town authorities. Our product has many special features. One such feature is the customizable sensor suite. This allows consumers to choose which chemicals they want to test for. For example, North Carolina has had a long history of coal ash contamination. For this reason, a consumer in North Carolina may want to purchase the coal ash sensor. Lotus will suggest sensors based on their geographical location and our water impurities database. Our water impurity database is a collection of results from all over the world from all of Lotus's products. Consumers will have the choice in the companion app to choose if they want to upload their results to the water impurity database. Another feature of our companion app is to send information to the town authorities. They can send trends or single pieces of data to the town authorities, therefore resulting in quicker problem identification.
So this will be our application interface. So this will be how our application would look like. So on the right you can see it says send page log. So just like that, you can send any log or any impurity that's found in your water to town authorities, or even our database where we'll collect everyone's water impurity data. And on the left, it has every single impurity, such as like pH, oxygen, anything like that. This is an example. It was not our real application, it's still under development. So this will be how our application will look like. It'll have bright colors, which will it'll be convenient for the customer to look at and easier to navigate.
Our roadmap. So we divided our company's production into 3 different phases. Phase 1, which includes the stem, bud, flower, and petals. These are our indicators and replaceable sensors. Up next is our phase 2, the direct. This is basically a travel pack which is compact and portable, and you can take this around with you anywhere around the world and it'll be able to detect water impurities. Up next, we will expand to the international market after year 2. This will start around, we will launch our first product in February 2017, and after the first 2 years, we'll boost our sales. The last but not least, phase 3. These are filters. So phase 2 and phase 3 are under development. Phase 3 takes an extra step and not just detects your water, but makes sure there's no impurities in our complete drinking water. Phase 1. You guys ever know how a lotus works, right? It comes from the roots and starts out as a stem. It gradually progresses into a bud, and then finally advances into a flower. Just like this concept, we had 3 products, the stem, bud, flower, consecutively. Our first one is an economical and moderate product, the stem. This will be sold at a price of $39.99 and takes about $32 to produce. This will have 3 different colors and it's made out of gloss paint. This has 3 sensors already inside it with a capacity up to 6. Our next product, the bud. This has a price of $49.99 and costs approximately $40 to produce. This is our mid-range product, and this is the product we have the most sales with. It has 4 sensors with a capacity up to 8. Our last but not least, the premium flower. This is completely better, I'm just going to say better, has a price of $69.99 and costs $61 to produce. This is made out of different material, the same they do with iPhone 5S with. It has 6 sensors in it with a capacity up to 12. This is a prototype of all 3 of these products. The more they increase, the better the features and the higher the enhancement. Along with this, we will also plan to launch petals. So petals are the actual sensors that we place into this product right here. So these will be sold at packs of 4 and retail price of $24.99. It'll take approximately $16 to produce. So the petals are crucial because they're interchangeable and replaceable. After 2 to 3 months, you take them out and refill with new ones. As Kunal mentioned here, with our geographic isolation, based on where you live, they will find out chemicals that are you most susceptible to, and based on that, they will recommend those chemicals to put in your water detector. So this is like a printer and a cartridge analogy. You put a cartridge into a printer and you replace it whenever you're out of ink.
Our competitors include HM Digital and Digital 8. So we compared the Lotus Direct, which is our travel pack, to our competitors' product because we could not find any competitors for phase 1, such as stem, bud, or the flower. So some criteria that the Lotus Direct completely meets between its competitors is if it's connected to devices, if it's available in stores, the ease of use, the cost, and the customizable. So Lotus Direct, as you can see, it meets all the criteria, but HM Digital and Digital 8's product does not meet almost every single one of them. Some of us don't know what hydroponic stores even are, so we probably don't visit them like we do visit them like Target or Walmart like every other weekend or something. So as you can see, our price is also a little higher, but with the feature set that we give with the product, we definitely place it at the price we have.
Market segmentation. We conducted a survey in which we concluded that our main customers are going to be middle-aged women who have children. Can I have a volunteer from the audience, please? Mom, Dad, do you want your child to be drinking impure water? No, of course not. No family wants their child to be drinking impure water, which is why our main target will be to families.
market trends and needs. So the population is shifting towards technology. It's all about technology in the 21st century. People want instant feedback and notifications on anything, basically. So transition to online technology, and everyone's connected to mobile devices, iOS and Android applications. So people have also increased the quality controls and safety regulations of our water. Ever since incidents like Flint, water organizations are taking every step and precaution to make sure water is safe.
Market strategy. We want everyone to know how great our product is, so we'll be using social media such as Twitter and Instagram to let people know how amazing our product is, as well as using advertisements in TV shows and radio stations. We also will be partnering with various companies such as Cisco, who has helped us make our app as well as make the devices interconnected. Also, we'll be partnering with NC State University, who has helped us build our model as well as develop the technology on how our indicator actually works. We also want to work with TyE2016 to help us spread the word of how great our product is.
So as we all know, it all comes down to money at the end of the day. So here's our gross revenue cost of goods sold. So in the first 2 years, we expect to have a feel of the market, so we're going to sell it nationally. And then by year 3, sell the product internationally. So from years 2 to 3, we expect to have a 45% increase in our sales. And then for 5-year sales, we expect our Lotus flood, our mid-end product to have most sales. And our pedals, which are supposed to be replaced every 3 to 4 months, are to be our leading sales by the end of the 5th year. For cash flow, the first 2 years, we're going to have $1 million, and then after we introduce our product internationally, end up with $1.5 million by the end of the 5th year.
Lotus will give back 5% of its net profits to select organizations such as Water is Life, which promotes water cleanliness. We want to do this because we care about the community and we want them to feel safe about their drinking water.
So just as a final note, we do not want another disaster like Flint, Michigan, or Bangladesh happening, do we?
Don't you think the time is right that people know what's in their water?
People are shifting towards a healthier lifestyle. Don't you guys want to stay safe and healthy?
Don't you want your healthcare costs to go down?
Don't you want to be connected with the world?
The answers to all these questions are obvious. With all these great benefits, why wouldn't you invest in our company? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So the first question I had was, I understand the modular nature of the filters, but I'm curious why you're coming out with 3 products instead of just coming out with 1 to start.
Oh, so that is, they're low end, moderate, and high end. So 3 different versions for our target market.
Okay. I guess my follow-up question would be, it might be easier to get some real data if you just started with 1, and then you could always add the other 2. Just a suggestion.
Oh man, so this we 3 printed this model, so we can pass it around.
My question is around your target audience. The data that you showed us primarily showed that your target audience is outside of the U.S. But your product price point is kind of high. So do you believe that your non-U.S. target audience will be able to afford your product?
Yeah, as we fine-tune our product, our cost is definitely going to go down. Since this is our first phase and the introduction phase, our price may be a little high, but as we reach out to the international market, we will gather more data and we will place at a reasonable price where everyone can afford it. And as we fine-tune it, the price will guaranteed go down.
I have one more question, and I'll hand it over to you. This is another marketing question. Did you consider teaming, rather than going direct to consumer, so you're pursuing a B2C model, business to consumer model, did you ever consider a B2B model where you partner with a company that is already doing filters to add this to them, to their current product?
We thought of that in the beginning, but as you can see in our phase 3, we are going to release filters, so they would technically be our competitors. So we want to start up as a new company where we start up as a detector that is connected to the internet and has more features than our competitors did. So as you can see, in our phase 3, we are going to release filters in maybe next 2 to 3 years. So we do not want to partner with. We did consider it, but we didn't want to partner with.
Okay.
Also, to add to that, we looked at the filter companies, and they will filter out every single chemical or substance that is in the water.
follow-up. And I'm gonna treat you guys just like you want my money, okay? If that's the case, in your business plan, you say there are over 80 toxins known in water and you're testing for 4 of them, so about 5%. So now, you know, you want to compete on a global scale with established companies and you're only testing for 5% of what's out there. So that's just some feedback that if you're going to try to disrupt a market and add value, you're going to have to go strong. If you want to respond, you can.
Okay, so as you can see in the packages, we have one package where it has 4. So some areas may have clean drinking water, but not completely. So they can purchase the bud, which is the low end for capacity of 4. So but the high end has 12 chemicals. So they can choose any chemical. Like some areas they have it's totally contaminated and they need more than that. So they would buy our third product, flour.
Yeah, so we have chemicals where you can like pick and choose which ones you want to do.
Yes.
Okay.
I like that. I do like that. If that is inconsistent with your business case, so that might be an area to focus on, the consistency in your data. Okay.
I was going to follow up on the issue of not partnering earlier on the filtering side. I mean, it seems to me it's great to know what contamination you might have, but as a consumer, you would probably want to deal with it right away. So pushing your business plan out a number of years before you have filters, and that's not your core competency. Your core competency is in detection, or at least that's where you're focusing your early effort. So I think a partnering strategy with a filtering company wouldn't really be your competition. It's your natural partner, channel partner to go to market with so that they can sell more of their filters. So to your point, if they don't have a particular filtering capability, you could do a joint venture, or you could do some product development with them because they're already good at that. So trying to be good at too many things is one of the things we see companies try to do too much of, and you're not going to have enough money to do all of them. So my advice to you would be focus on one thing that you want to be really, really good at.
Good job, team.
Thank you so much.
So a couple of questions specific to sales and finance. I'm unclear on, I'm looking at your sales growth figures and they assume 25% sales growth month over month for quite a while. That's pretty aggressive, I would say, because once, if you're successful, you get out there, and I think that goes to the point of initial startup costs and some of the things that the other guys mentioned in terms of getting the price points down. I'd recommend you put a pencil to that. The other piece that it does assume that your price is going to hold for the term of the financial statement, and I think that's unrealistic. Based on, I think it's a great idea, and I think other people are going to look at it. And when that happens, there's a small barrier for entry for people with a lot of money. Right? You are, I'm assuming, going to get money from a VC. Is that? So one of the things that I would strongly recommend is that you look at what the audience that you're going to present to, what their objectives are in terms of exit strategy, in terms of return on investment and things of that nature. When I say exit strategy, a VC is not looking to partner with you to make money for the rest of their lives. They're looking for a way to either sell it or take it public and make a lot of money. And that has to go into the thinking on the financial side of the business. The last point I would make is, and maybe I'm missing something here, but I don't see where your leadership team is taking a salary in the financial piece.
Salaries?
I mean, your compensation. I see $85,000 in sales. I don't see the leadership team's expense. Are you going to give it away? Or?
No, we would split the profits among us 6. So like government.
So it's, you're taking your income from the profits, general profit sharing through the growth of the company.
Yes.
But that would be after we give out 5% of our net profits.
Gotcha. That's very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
One more question. I'm going to ask a quick question, but I want to make just a couple of quick comments since I have such limited time. I would take a further look at funding sources prior to going to the VC community, besides the ones mentioned here. if you look in the spaces where grants, I think you guys are ideal candidates to get grants from local and governments and international organizations like the World Health Organization, international markets. The one biggest funded agency in the United States is NIH. And they're very concerned about not only U.S. problems, but worldwide and interface with the World Health Organization. There's hundreds of millions of dollars right there, and I think well written and a good grant application could really kick your funding off. I would also study a little more on the building a matrix of competition here as well. As my colleague Andy brought about, what is the competition doing and who is the competition? And think about co-opetition. So working with some of these well-funded companies that may love what you guys are doing. It's the next generation. Nanotubes are not that well known in the marketplace. I think you're a little short on your financial side on research and development. So if you're not going to offset some of that cost through partnerships, then your numbers are not going to, these numbers are not going to hold true. I think Keith brought up a good point about price compression in the marketplace. I can't think of too many high-tech organizations that don't suffer from massive amounts of price compression as other competitors get in the market or new technologies come along. I think the real thing that you guys need to put in your business plan, that where the money is, and I think our colleague from IBM will tell you, it's all about data. It's all about the information. So if you can create a database of these water problems that's more interactive, that's the next step up from what's already out there, or maybe linking all those components together, that could be pretty huge. And that way, I would further suggest you build a platform, and that platform would be for both development on the water testing side and on the water initiative sides that are going on both in the U.S. and around the world. That way you can create APIs and TDKs for the developer community, bring the community together and use the power, whether that's in an open source community or through some other type of development. Find out who's interested in water problems all around the world and band those people together. And by doing that, you'll create a bigger company and you'll be doing a great thing. And I think a lot of people will get behind you on that basis. Great job.
Thank you so much.